We start the recording. Good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to today's webinar about slow down to speed up. It's like a business paradox, isn't it? We feel we want to rush all the time, but slow down to speed up just doesn't sound as if it will work. Now, if you look at the picture you see on your screen at the moment, there you see starting at 11 o'clock. Well, there are a couple of things wrong with that. One, the time is wrong. We're starting at 11:07. The other thing, it is upside down. It catches our attention, doesn't it? But today's topic, like slow down to speed up, is pretty much like that. It doesn't seem right, and it seems upside down. So let's explore today the paradox of slowing down to speed up. And I may just say before we begin that this is one of our one of the 8 productivity principles that we've discovered over the years is to slow down to speed up. The others are very simple: to have a productive mindset, to have clarity, morning Andre, have clarity, to be aligned, to slow down to speed up, then to be adaptable, to focus, to finish what you start, and to learn and improve. So let's get going. It's a short webinar today, microlearning. So even though it seems wrong, it does work. But why are you here today? I would like you to put in the chat, what is one thing that will be a win for you today? If you can leave here with one idea or one tip or one whatever, what would it be for you that will make you happy that you spend these 17 minutes together? In the chat, if you can't see the chat, there should be a button on the bottom right-hand side that says chat, and then the chat column will open. And I will launch a poll just now. But what is one thing that will make today a win for you if you can achieve what? Feeling more organized, Andre? Yeah. Now, often, I want to pick up on what Andre said there, is often when we rush, we get disorganized and we don't take time to put things where they should be. Here's a quote. I don't know how many of you live by this. Don't put it down, put it away. Because I don't know if you've ever said something like, hi, Marty. If you ever said, let me put it down here for now. Dangerous words. Slow down to speed up, put things in the right place, and you can be more organized. Okay, so what would you like today? Just in a chat, anybody just type there, what would be a win for you today that would make you say at the end of the time together, yay, I was happy that I was here. Hello, Marty. So just give us a reason why, what you would like today. Okay, I mentioned the 8 ways to productivity mastery. I mentioned those principles to you. Today we focus on slow down to speed up. Marty, how to use my time better? Yes, but I would like us to have a little experiment here. Just read that sentence and make a mental note. Don't type anything yet. Make a mental note of how many F's you see in that sentence, the letter F. Just read that and pick up and count mentally. I'll give you a time just now to post it in the chat, but just make a note of how many F's there are. Okay, once you've counted them, please use the chat and just type the number. How many F's do you see there? And just type quickly so that you don't have too much time to count them. Okay, there's 2 and 3 and 3 and 5. Tracy sees 5. My word, how is that possible? Leanne says no sound. I think the other people can all hear me because they responded to my questions. Let's see how many there really were. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Huh. And it's the same slide. I'm going back. It's the same slide. I just highlighted the F's for you. Now, which ones did you miss? Just typically people say that they miss the F's in the word of. And there are 2 possible reasons for that. It's a short little word compared to the other ones with the F in. And also when you say the of, it sounds like a V, not the F. So we miss the small little things in life that could have a big impact for us. There's a nice saying that huge doors swing on small hinges. Small changes you make in your life can have a big impact for you. And one of these small changes is to implement slow down to speed up. There are many practical, and we'll discuss a few ways in which you can do that. And you will leave today with at least 1 or 2 things that you can do practically to slow down, to speed up, and improve your productivity. And I'm just looking at the chat again, to use your time better, to be more organized. Okay, so how do you feel? Just type one word in the chat. Those of you who didn't see 6, how does it feel? You see 2, you see 3, then wow, there's 6. What was the feeling that you had when you saw all 6? I'm going to continue, but just use some time. Type in the chat, how did you feel when you saw that, hey, you missed the offs? Okay, let's continue. I'm going to give you, Tracy, that's such an important question. What else am I missing? Surprised, yeah. But what else am I missing? And, you can take this simple little exercise and you can watch the replay, of course. And Andre, no need to feel stupid. But I understand. I can understand the feeling. We feel like that, eh? Okay, so I like surprised. What else am I missing? Okay, so here's a couple of examples of people who implemented slow down to speed up. Gary Kasparov, pre his political days, when he was a world chess master. So when he was not sure of a move to make. Now think about your life right now. Are there some moves you need to make or want to make in your life that you're not quite sure of? What he did, he sat on his hands so that he could not move something that he was not quite sure of. So he sat on his hands until he was quite sure. So he slowed down to speed up. There's this example of, they were building a bridge coming from different sides. And obviously, the bridge were not in alignment. The two sides were not in alignment. Another example of the negative impact of not slowing down to speed up, and some of you may be aware of this example, a beer brewing company in the US, and they had a new process that brewed beer faster. Hey, brew faster, sell faster, make more money. But then they put the beer on the market and it didn't sell. Why not? They did not take the effort and the time to taste the beer that came from the new process. Bad decision. And if you don't take time out, like I did there for a weekend at Cape Agulhas, if you don't make the time for a breakaway, you have to take the time maybe for hospitalization. So just a couple of examples of where things went wrong when people didn't slow down to speed up. Now, every day, and I promised you 1 or 2 tips, and I'm just going to go through these opportunities that you have to slow down, and the tips will be self-evident. Tip number 1, use that, planning. On the scale of, let's make it easy, 1 to 10, just type in the chat, please, how well you're rating for your own planning. 1 is not so good, pathetic. Don't ignore that word. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is I'm the best planner in the world. My planning is almost perfect. And 1, I'm not planning enough. So I would pick a 6 and a 4, a 7, great, 8, good, excellent, wonderful. There's room for improvement, it seems, because nobody's giving a 10. And so one opportunity for you to slow down, to speed up, is to plan better. By the way, in some of the research that we've done, that we've researched, is that one of the main reasons why projects fail is poor planning. So planning not good, bound to fail. Here's another example, just to think. Take time to think. And we often don't do that. Take time to communicate. That's another reason why things fail, is poor communication. And I'd like you to keep this in mind. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. When talking to, or when communicating to somebody, we should use them in that proportion, I think. Listen more than you can hear. And those of you familiar with the 7 habits of highly effective people, habit 5 is seek first to understand, then to be understood. Now, I just want to pause here for a moment. And I want you to think about typical meetings that you have, whether they were in-person meetings or online meetings. Don't we tend to rush through an agenda? And, we get so bound by the clock, by the watch, that we say, we've been on this for 5 minutes now, let's move on. But then you rush, and you miss important things. So slow down to speed up, also with your meetings. And when we rush, we miscommunicate easily. So what Kavi means with seek first to understand is, let's say, Marty, you and I have a difference of opinion about something. Then I give you the opportunity to speak first, and I just listen. And here's the trick. After you finish putting your point on the table, I must then explain your point of view back to you until you are satisfied that I understand what you said. Wow. Now, that's not efficient, but that's effective. So listening is another opportunity. So there you have 4 opportunities already that you can immediately implement slow down to speed up. Planning, thinking, communicating. And of course, the good old multitasking. Now, my friend Kevin Horsley has a very nice saying. He says, you can try and multitask, but you cannot multi-focus. I cannot be here with you and do this and answer email and look outside at the rain that's falling in Cape Town, which is lovely. You cannot multi-focus. So multitasking is just another form of rushing. I rush here and I rush there and I rush here and I rush there. Now, I would like to ask you, I've got a poll running that I would like you to, pardon me, to respond to. And I just want to get your feeling. Why are we rushing? Technology, or is the mindset that I have to be busy, external demands to impress people? And in our business, everything is urgent. Just pick any one of those, and I'll keep the poll running, and I will continue. So multitasking is a myth. It does not work. Here's a better word. If you go from one task to another, you switch from one task to the other. So switch tasking is a more relevant and a more correct word than multitasking. You cannot multi-focus. Just looking at the poll results, most of you say everything in our business is urgent, external demands, and mindset. Okay, let's continue. So multitasking is simply, I love this definition, screwing everything up simultaneously. That can easily happen. Does slow down to speed up work? Let me give you a couple of examples. Of a company in the US called Ipswich. They're a software company. Now, things may have changed. I can't vouch for it that this is still exactly the same. But they are 2 of their company values. They honor work and family balance. They discourage unnecessary rules and bureaucracy. Let's look at the first one. As I understand it, if, let's say, one of the people's son or daughter was playing a hockey match at 3 o'clock on Thursday, and your manager knows about the hockey match, and your manager sees you at office and not at the hockey match, it is like challenged. And I said, okay, what's going on here? We honor family life. Go and watch the hockey game. So they encourage more personal time, and there's no praise in that company for weekends or after hours. Now, here are the results. Their staff turnover was half of the industry, and their sales went up 33%. Now, I don't know about you, and I don't know what the numbers are for you. And, so those of you in the poll said that, most in your business, everything is urgent. Take a tip, take a cue from Ipswich and see if you cannot implement slow down to speed up. Cut your staff turnover and save a lot of money. Okay, another example. Coney or Kone, I don't know how to pronounce it. So one day I called the company in Joburg and I asked the receptionist, how do I pronounce the name of your company? He said, Coney, Kode, Coney, Kunal, whatever. She said, I don't know. So, I still don't know how to pronounce it properly. Maybe one of you can let me know in somehow how to pronounce that name. Anyway, they move people and stuff around with escalators and etc. So what their company philosophy is, let's start with the italics over here. Slow down to power up. That's kind of their slogan. And they take time out to slow down at key times. They use dialogue for deep diagnosis, and that allows their business to power up, hence slow down to power up. And they found that the time so-called lost at the front end of slowing down translated into clarity, speed, and strength. So again, back to the practical examples that you can follow immediately, the tips. Better planning, or take time for planning, take time for thinking, take time for communication, and seek first to understand and then to be understood. As a consequence, a result of their philosophy, their customer satisfaction more than tripled. Not bad, eh? Market share and profits rose significantly. I don't have a percentage, unfortunately. Employee engagement increased 30%. And important in that industry, safety incidents dropped over 70%. Now, I've shared 2 examples with you about companies that slow down. So I just wanted you to type in the chat, please, your answer to this question. Is slowing down worth trying? Is slow down to speed up worth giving it a shot in your personal life? The Latin festina lente, slow down to speed up, look before you leap, look left and right and then cross the street. So, I see yes, yes, and yes. This is important. You've said yes now. Now, the next question is, and don't expect you to type about this, but what are you going to do? Take a pen and a piece of paper right now. Don't worry about keyboards and stuff. Write it down. Slowing down is worth doing or is worth trying. And I am going to, and then fill in the dash. What are you going to do to slow down, to speed up? I'd love to hear from you. And you can write it down. At the end, you're more than welcome to type it in the chat as well when we finish. So what are you going to do? Because action changes things. There's a saying, I think it's a Japanese saying originally. Vision without action is mere as a pipe dream. Vision, like I want to slow down, but you don't do anything about it. It's a pipe dream. It's not going to happen. On the other side, action without vision is mere drudgery. This is where the rushing around comes in. You rush around, do without thinking. Marty, slowing down worth trying, and I'm going to plan better and say no more. Okay. I misread that, Marty. I read you say you're going to plan better and say no more, but it's say no more. Great stuff. Schedule downtime every day. Lekker Andre. That'll work. Okay, so it is worth trying, but only if you take action, it's going to happen. And I want you to write down another action. I'm putting my email address, the easy one, in the chat. So once you've done what you said, now you're going to type. Tracy says slowing down is worth trying. Going to be more committed to allocating the time and not getting sidetracked. Yeah, that's latches on to saying no more. Hey, yeah, good, excellent. There's my email address. Once you've done the things that you have now publicly committed to doing, send me an email, please, and just say, slow down to speed up. This is how it's working for me. So it's not crazy. It is worth giving it a shot. It works for businesses and it works for you. Just 2 examples. I found it very hard to take a weekend off, and especially a long weekend, because I thought, I've got all of this to do, and I've got to write the Monday memo, and I've got to do this and do that and prepare for the workshops. Yes, all of that has to be done, but it's really, really important that you take time off. And I went to the Whoop Nature Reserve with friends one weekend. What a joy to see that picture and to have a sunset there. Beautiful. And then also, you don't have to go to the beach all the time. You can go to the Tankwa Karoo. And those of you who haven't been there, it's a wonderful place to go to. It's only you and the space. There's no signal. I'm just writing what Julianne says, going to allocate admin time each day to plan my tasks for each day, reflection time on a Friday. That's important, reflection time. Ensure I did not miss anything and plan for the next. Fantastic, Julianne, I love it. So go to the ocean, go to the Karoo, where you can listen to talkies and you can enjoy a beautiful flower, which has died long ago, but the memory still lives on. I just want to tell you this story about a personal slowdown. My daughter, they were living in Hong Kong at the time, and my first granddaughter was born. And again, here's me, I've got work to do. I can't go and say hello to Nina. But I went. Now, some people say that she's just got a wind. And hence the little smile. I believe, and you will not convince me differently, that was her first smile. When I took some time off, I slowed down and I went to Hong Kong and to spend time with Lindy and her family. At that time, her only child was Nina. Wonderful. And I cherish that to this day. So there are 8 ways to productivity mastery. I'm not going to go through all of them today. We focus on slow down to speed up. So what's next? I want to hear from you. And I'm not going to ask you to send any polls or questions or anything like that today. But what I am asking you to do is on your if you click on the handouts tab, you'll see a document there, a PDF called @8 Ways to Productivity Mastery. Download that. And the fourth way to productivity mastery is slow down to speed up. So I would like you to just do that, go through that, slow down to speed up. And your job then is, once you've implemented what you committed here today, send me an email. There you have my email, gerrit@789.co.za. In the subject line, if you don't have to put AW, that's 8 ways. If you want more information about that, I'll send it to you. And the EOM, talking about saving time, is simply a shorthand for end of message. So if you send me a message with that EOM in the subject line, I know that's it. I don't have to go any further. So that's the end of our little micro productivity webinar today. I trust that you've enjoyed it. You see my name there and my colleague Duncan's name there. You can write to him as well. He can help you save a lot of time in Outlook. And he's the time-saving king in Microsoft Outlook. But thank you for being here. Thank you for participating in the chat. And I will hang around. I'm going to stop the recording now. So if you were watching the replay, thanks for that. And stay in touch. Send me an email to that address and tell me what you have implemented and how it's working for you. So replay people, cheers for now.